I regret doing OnlyFans and like dancing and all that, but then I'm like, a lot of younger people do not care. I was only tripping because the old heads are like, nah, that ain't right.
Like my ex, like he would be like, what am I supposed to tell my mom that you do? Like he would make me feel so bad.
And that's such an immature comment.
Yeah.
Because like, what am I gonna tell my mom?
In that like traumatic space that I was in, I really thought like, he's right, like no one will want me. Like OnlyFans is like the death.
Miami have released a new video of a violent confrontation between a popular social media model and the boyfriend she's now accused of murdering. A warning, this might be disturbing. The video was recorded in an elevator at the couple's apartment building 2 months before the deadly stabbing in April. Prosecutors say it shows 26-year-old Courtney Clenny beating her live-in boyfriend, Christian Obumseli. She was arrested this week in Hawaii. Her attorney says the killing was in self-defense, but prosecutors claim the boyfriend was the victim of ongoing domestic violence.
Rude awakening. I had an OnlyFans.
Okay.
For a month. I started just posting lingerie pictures. Okay, what people don't realize is that you're being programmed in that app because they're asking you for more. Just lingerie? No, take your top off. No nipple. Are you serious? And then you have the DMs. And through DM, you can say like, I'll send you this video if you pay $200. So you pay $200, I send you the private video.
Yeah.
So throughout the 1 month that I did it, I just didn't like it. Like I just started getting guys like, hey, if you sell me a private picture, I'll send you $3,000. I'm like, maybe I won't do it the first time, right? I won't do it the first time. But let's say a year from now, I get asked this question how many times. I'm already programmed into being like,
think of how many thousands
I would have made.
And where's the line? First it's nude, then it's nude. Where else would you go with this? I paid $10,000 to meet up.
That is what I'm telling
Go
you.
on a date, whatever.
That is what I'm telling you. You get lost in it. Like you might start, like I said, you start by just setting the picture. And then you end up $10,000 for meeting up and then $20,000 to have sex. And now you're a prostitute and you didn't even notice how you ended up there.
Stop playing dumb with me. Stop playing dumb with me. Stop playing. Yes, I'm D-Rock. I'm D-Rock. You know, yeah, you know now. You didn't know. I'm D-Rock, the one you've been DMing on OnlyFans for the past week. Look at this shit, man. I'm sitting at the house the other day when she's talking about, oh, I'm business meetings or I'm hanging with my friends. You do a meetup. There's nothing to explain. Nothing to explain. You would have, man, I don't give a about no more. Hey, listen, I'm not trying to hear none of them excuses. You and this motherfucker in a whole fucking bikini or some shit about to trying to do meetups. What the you doing? Let me ask you, what are you doing with these meetups? Because you didn't know this was me. That's me you've been talking to for this whole past week. You been coming, listen, coming home. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. You've been coming I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. You've been coming home, laying in the bed with me, I don't know about none of that crime or that shit. You've been coming home. Listen, you've been coming, no, because that shit crazy. You be coming home every day laying with me and doing all that shit the whole time you doing meetups and shit.
What you reap is what you sow. To be an adult in this world, you need to understand that your actions have consequences. This is something that modern women are starting to realize very quickly. Women are regretting becoming OnlyFans creators. Don't say we didn't warn you, ladies. We've seen an explosion of sexually explicit content and online prostitution in the past 10 years. Platforms like OnlyFans have successfully convinced an entire generation that being a sex worker is perfectly okay, risk-free, and extremely rewarding as a career choice. I don't have the words to describe how screwed up a society needs to be to get to the point where it is encouraging young women to be sex workers. I don't understand how women can fully embrace turning themselves into a sexual object for money and call it empowerment. This society is getting more ridiculous with each passing minute. And before we go any further, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to Still Above Ground who said, "These women are saltier than movie theater popcorn." Such a classy metaphor. But bro, you gotta get the butter on it even if it'll give you a heart attack. Anyway, please don't forget to reach out to my email to claim your $5. As always guys, I'll pick one comment from each video. It could be the funniest, the most liked, or one that really moved me, so don't forget to leave a comment and you may be the next winner. Make sure to hit that like and sub button too, as it helps out the channel a ton. Now, let's get back to the video.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow.
For those that have been living under a rock for the past 10 years, OnlyFans is a site that allows content creators to earn money from uploading images and videos. The platform likes to say that they encourage all kinds of content on the platform, but everyone knows that OnlyFans is the world's biggest pimp organization, and it makes 90% of its money from sexually explicit material from emotionally damaged and horribly misguided women. And it's big business. As of this recording, there are over 2.1 million creators on OnlyFans. The vast majority of these creators are women, and the biggest earning creators on the platform are almost entirely women. So much for male privilege. Some women are earning insane amounts of money from this. Gem101 is the #1 account and makes over $29.4 million annually. That's $2.49 million a month. But there's a dark truth here that I'll talk about in a moment. Women were successfully convinced that they could earn at least $10,000 a month from showing a few lingerie pics and maybe a few photos of their feet. And because feminism is such a toxic ideology, over the past decade, they encouraged an entire generation of women to create OnlyFans accounts because sexual liberation is apparently a great thing. This is why we've seen an explosion of online prostitutes in the past decade doing everything from feet pics to full sex all the way to, well,
I just eat what I want, and they pay for it, as long as I film it. So that's how I make a living and keep going. And it makes me feel appreciated. So I'm happy to do it. Hi, long time no see, everybody. People ask me all the time, when is gonna be that cake video? Well, it's right now. Thank you for requesting this. It's making me bigger and bigger. I can just feel it.
But the problem is women are starting to regret it big time. The consequences of your actions will always come back to bite you in the ass sooner or later. Reality always wins no matter how hard you cling to your delusions, and that's what women are starting to realize. Take a look at this article. A woman is sharing her story as an OnlyFans creator. She's expressing extreme regret at her life choices, but notice as I read the article for you how she's still full of feminist woke BS and can't see her own hypocrisy. When I turned 18, I did something I thought would help me feel empowered as a woman, but instead it left me traumatized. I joined OnlyFans. I only spent 3 years as an OnlyFans creator, but looking back, those were the most miserable years of my life. Notice how the only reason she will ever say the word empowered is if she was drinking the Kool-Aid and listening to her feminist overlords a little bit too much. At the time, joining OnlyFans felt like a natural progression. I was already posting bikini pictures on Instagram, so I didn't really feel like there was a big difference between posting photos there and posting them on OnlyFans. I saw other creators talking about how being an OnlyFans creator was empowering and a way to be in charge of your own life. That all sounded good to me, but the reality of what actually happened was nothing like that. This is the classic girl boss mentality that's driving women to make such terrible life choices. The whole strong and independent woman narrative is extremely ridiculous. We know this because it's literally driving women to become prostitutes online and then justify it to themselves somehow. During my time as an OnlyFans creator, I was more depressed and anxious than I've ever been before. I was making really good money, great money actually, on average up to $20,000 a month, but I felt like my subscribers were constantly pushing my boundaries. No matter what I posted, they wanted more explicit content. I ended up sending nude photos a few times even though I didn't want to because I felt so pressured and they were offering so much money. I would also receive terrible messages that were so degrading and I didn't see any filtering system on OnlyFans to block them. I find it interesting how she can't help but let her man-hating worldview and complete avoidance of responsibility come through in her language. This is a woman who is openly sexualizing herself on the internet for $20,000 a month and she's complaining that her customers see her as a sex object. You can't make this up. It was obvious that they saw me as an object for their pleasure and not as a person. It was awful being constantly sexualized to such a dehumanizing level. She sexualized herself, and she got rich doing it. And now she's looking for attention and sympathy from people because the world didn't cater to her every wish. For all the money I was bringing in, I was spending it just as quickly. I spent money to mask my depression and anxiety. I got used to this luxurious lifestyle where I'd go on fancy trips to beautiful places to shoot content in a new setting. Each time I'd think, maybe this is the trip I'll be happy on, but it was never true. I was always miserable. She was always miserable because she was a sex worker. This is a person who has reduced human intimacy and connection to a transaction and then complains about it. Notice how it's all a victim story. At no point is she questioning her poor life choices that led to this. She's expecting people to see her as a victim because she was unhappy being in the Maldives earning $20K a month for bikini photos. My family and friends wanted me to stop, but they couldn't control me. It was something I couldn't let go of once I started. It's not their responsibility to control you. It's your responsibility to be an adult and control yourself. Are you a child? Is that the level of impulse control you possess? Blaming your family and friends for not being able to control you is the kind of way a toddler tries to weasel out of eating the cookies. My whole life revolved around creating content and talking to my subscribers. I spent at least 2 hours a day messaging subscribers, and it took a few hours to shoot and edit content. It was a full-time job. I was spending at least 8 hours a day doing all of this, and it was exhausting. 8 hours of work is a full workday. I can't believe this woman is choosing to present herself as a victim for working 8 hours a day for $20K a month. It got to the point where the money wasn't worth it. I had no idea what I was getting into. I was so young and naive, and I didn't see the big deal of posting sexy pictures. And then once I had done it, I figured there was no reason to stop, since the photos were already out there. I felt terrible. All the creepy attention was making me sick. Subscribers kept asking for nude photos and offering more and more money. I found myself stepping past my own boundaries, and it left me feeling suicidal. She says the attention that she specifically created her account and the lifestyle around is what was making her sick. She sexualized herself on the internet for everyone to see. At least she's admitting that she was naive, but luckily, this story does have a happy ending. I was close to ending my life, to be honest. I couldn't live with myself and felt like I was constantly on the edge of a mental breakdown. My life was spiraling, and I needed help. Though I was raised in a Christian household, I'd lost sight of my faith, but a family member noticed that I was spiraling and prayed for me. And through that prayer, I found my way back to Jesus. A man gives credit where it's due. She tried it and clearly grew from the experience and was able to course correct. Clearly she was suffering from deep-seated emotional issues and, worse, completely ignoring the advice of the people in her life. But unfortunately, most women on Onlyfans are counting the money and lying to themselves in order to cope with the reality that they have turned themselves into a sex object. Take a look at this self-righteous comment from an Onlyfans creator. I regret nothing. Does the thought that it might one day come back to bite me in the arse worry me? Sometimes a little bit, but I know that if anyone thinks less of me for it, they're the arsehole, not me. And also, it's my life and I have to live it for myself. I cannot let others' twisted morals keep me from doing the things I enjoy. If anything, I regret not starting sooner. Twisted morals? I guarantee you that she's just talking about her family expressing concern for her. Never mind, she'll learn one day. There are countless reasons why women regret doing OnlyFans. These are the kinds of things that people have already warned women about for years, but they completely ignored it. When it's on the internet, it's there forever. That's rule number 1 of the internet. If it's on the internet, it will never be deleted. You have to assume that everything you put out on OnlyFans will be screen capped and posted to a porn site somewhere eventually. This is something that most women simply don't think about. Or they're as delusional as this next woman, who believes that erasing your sexual explicit content from the internet is as easy as throwing money at the problem.
So let me ask you a question. So if you're so against it, I'm just curious, why wouldn't you delete your OnlyFans if you...
I've already spoken about this. I was big enough to where my pornography is going to be out there.
So you can get it taken down very easily.
You can't.
Yes, you can. 100% you can.
You can't.
So it's gonna be
yes,
there.
I can.
I was just curious why.
You can't.
I was just curious.
I know.
You
Okay,
can
listen.
pay, trust
You
me.
guys have been doing this for 6 months too.
I also have lawyers that literally tell, like, you just pay for it and it gets...
This delusional woman thinks that she can just pay to get all photos of her erased from the internet. How can you possibly be an OnlyFans creator and not know the basics of how the internet works? Hopefully, women are starting to realize that once you decide to put your body all over the internet for everybody to see, that's the point where your life changes forever. If you want to attract a man for a long-term relationship, you can forget it. If you want to change your career, you can kiss that goodbye as well. Employers won't hire a former sex worker. And this isn't even talking about what happens when your family and friends will see it. Your children. Many OnlyFans creators are mothers with sons. I don't understand how you can be so selfish and validation addicted that you will put your body on the internet for everybody to see and sentence your children to the social damage of having a prostitute for a mother. They have to go to school and be around other kids. This is something women don't think about. It's all about getting that bag and being a strong, independent woman. But what about the money? This is the biggest carrot that feminism likes to dangle in front of young women to get them to be sexually empowered OnlyFans creators. But how much does the average OnlyFans creator make? It had better be a lot because the price they are paying is an extremely heavy one. But no, the average OnlyFans creator makes a measly $180 a month. That's correct. Women are exposing their buttholes online and videotaping themselves getting gangbanged and putting it on the internet for grandma to see, all for $180 a month. And then they wonder why they don't have great mental health. Maybe because you have valued yourself at $180 a month. Maybe that's all you believe you're worth. We tried to tell these women, but they didn't listen. They need to make their own mistakes. And speaking of mistakes, it doesn't get much worse than what I'm about to show you.
This girl found out that her dad was her biggest OnlyFans customer. Carla Ramirez was getting hundreds from an anonymous account on her OnlyFans. They would tell her to perform X-rated acts and even ask her to speak on the phone sometimes. But one day while listening to the man's voice, she heard a familiar voice talking on the phone in the background. It sounded just like her mother, and it turns out that her biggest customer was her biological father.
Something happens to women when their looks start diminishing quickly and their income starts dropping. OnlyFans is a young woman's game. It's funny how they regret it once they start realizing that their looks are diminishing. Maybe they've started to realize that their bank account is drying up. Maybe one of the biggest hypocrisies about OnlyFans is that feminism has convinced women that being attractive for your husband is a form of servitude. But feminism has absolutely no problem with women sexualizing themselves and being paid for it by complete strangers. Feminism has been completely silent on this issue. And OnlyFans is a far more tyrannical boss than a husband will ever be. OnlyFans doesn't care about women. It cares about harvesting as much profit as possible from vulnerable and impressionable young women who didn't have a father figure to show them otherwise. And modern women are starting to regret their poor life choices. It's about time. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.